Hello everyone, Lipnox VR here, and I'm talking about Everslaught again. We had a bit of an issue when it came out where there was no turning options and it was set to snap turning. I didn't find it was a end-all thing, but there was definitely concern with it, and there was also a little concern I had with the height. Well, I wanted to show off some more gameplay because this game is totally awesome, and I mean, why wouldn't I want to show some more of it off? And give some corrections on some stuff because I mentioned that there was only 4 enemy types, and when you get to level 7 and get to level 9, there are 2 more enemy types. Like I said, those turn options are all totally fixed. We have tons of different options for snap turning and tons of different speeds for the smooth turning now, and like I said, the height is working properly. I still can't use OVR Advanced Toolkit to manipulate the height, but I was playing this entire time seated. So this is seated Everslaught gameplay. So if you want to see what the game looks like playing it seated, it totally works. I know a lot of people, prefer to play these games seated or prefer to have the option. So you can clearly see I didn't die. It was perfectly fine to play this game seated. Other than that, I don't have too much to sort of talk about this game, but it seems like it has been selling really, really well, and the public's perception on this, for the most part, has been very, very good. With all that said, I mean, I said this in the other video, these guys have really been only making this since, basically after May last year, so this has not had a huge amount of time already. They're quick fixing updates, so I feel very confident that this is a really strong studio, strong team of individuals making this game. So with all that sort of being said, I definitely, if you were waiting for them to add the smooth stuff, it's here now. If you're a little bit cautious playing this because you are all about sitting in VR, it works perfectly fine right now. It's fine to play. I mean, I did play before seated and it was fine, but this, you have the smooth turning, you have the proper height. Makes all the difference. I would say, if you support these guys, I think you're going to be good. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention too. In the previous video, you could see I struggled with opening the chest sometimes, grabbing them. Well, you can just hit them with your sword to get them open. So that's a nice quality of life thing that I did not realize was there. But yeah. This is clearly an early access game, and just to sort of enlighten on that, I think what is here, a lot of people are probably going to get tired of after, about 4 hours of playing for the most part, but it's going to be an awesome 4 hours, and you can feel confident that it's going to get big updates, adding in more stuff, and it's really going to be worth coming back to again in a few months when they add more stuff, and it's just going to keep getting more stuff. So we'll let this rest of this gameplay run through here. If you have any more questions, feel free to answer them down below. But I've been following what's up with these developers. They're listening to comments, they're listening to feedback, and I really feel like, if you're big into PC gaming and you're big into this type of game, this is one that you definitely need to take a serious consideration of purchasing, and if you're not ready to purchase it yet, add it to that watch list. Maybe you might see a sale come up at some point that just makes it 100% have to have. I think the price that it's at right now is perfectly fine. I know when it released, it had some discounts, so that discount might still be there, but either way, I feel really confident in suggesting this as one to watch for the upcoming year. But yeah, we'll let this play through here. I don't have too much to overall say on this. The last video, I did not mention my specs. So I'm running this on virtual desktop, and my GPU is a RTX 2060. Now I do something a little bit different with virtual desktop than I would imagine most people do. What I do is I run it on the setting that is set for the 3080s, like the higher setting, so that I can get higher graphical performance for resolution and everything, but then I drop it down to 60 FPS. For some people, 60 FPS maybe not be ideal. But because I spend so much time in VR chat, I'm kind of desensitized to the lower FPS things, so it doesn't cause an issue to me whatsoever. And I would rather have the clarity, but I know some people were having performance issues and some people weren't having performance issues, so that's definitely a thing. And I'm not running it with Virtual Desktop's settings. I am just running it by opening Steam VR and then opening the game itself. If you check the reviews of the game, someone was having an issue where it was booting up in the Oculus SDK, and that was causing some sort of issue when using Virtual Desktop. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe that's already fixed. Maybe that's no longer a concern. But if you're having that concern, take a look at the reviews and see if you can find that comment, or see if you can find in the support how they fixed that. But that is a thing too. But yeah, this is an incredibly fun game. It's these environments you're playing in, they seem recycled, but I've never seen this one, this one in the video here with the skeletons all above. So there's definitely some mixing it up things. So don't think that because you played 3 hours you've seen everything, because you could totally find that you haven't seen all the different variations of rooms that can exist. And with these guys updating, they could be adding rooms every time with new updates. So, anyways, I'm blabbing on here forever. I will say, if you are into PC VR stuff and you're looking for other things, I've got another video I did on 8 PC VR reviews, and a majority of that, or maybe not majority, a big part of that is the Sniper Elite review I did for the Steam version. So you can check that out. You can check out some of the other games I covered in there. And I also checked out Swingle recently, which is like a puzzle VR game, and that just recently got a demo. So if you want to check out that, you can check out the free demo. You can play that. I think it's a pretty awesome game, and I also have a video on that. You can take a look at me looking at the full version. I was looking at the App Lab version, but it's pretty much the same deal. Just better clarity on the PC, obviously. Anyways, thank you guys for checking this out. I did not edit out the loading screen in this one, so you can see the loading time for a real-time thing. It's a tad long, but not too big a deal, and it's loading in the whole feature level because, once you get into that main screen where you're spending your stats in that hub area thing, you just open up the basement area or open up the latch, you can drop right down, and there's no loading in that. So it's just loading at the end of each level. If the loading times get a little bit better, that'd be awesome, but it never really bothered me that much. And let's be honest, after you do one of these runs, you could use an extra little breather there, because this game is definitely action-packed, and sometimes when you're battling those big axe dudes that, take some time to knock out, and you're also being faced with swarms and swarms of enemies like in the video right here, you get pretty worn out, and you're ready for that little break thing. But thanks again for the developers for sending me a review key for the check out this game. So this is my second video checking it out. I don't usually cover games on this channel more than once, especially not this quickly, but you know what? I think a lot of people held off on this game because they didn't have those extra turn options and the height issue, so I really wanted to clarify that so nobody is missing out. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like VR content. I cover VR content all the time, and yeah, have a good one.